Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and at a particularly weird time of Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Welcome to the Championship Preview and Predictions Show. Ridiculously busy at the moment. I've got to do Blue Monday tonight. 3-game week going from Saturday to next Saturday. So basically no other time other than to get this out of the way in the afternoon. So if you are here at 3 p.m, thank you. Apologies for the short notice. Say hi. Let yourself be known in the chat. And we thank you because we need you for your opinions throughout the show on each and every one of the Championship games this past weekend. We have had Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. That was part of the problem. I could have done it this morning if there hadn't been any Sunday games. But we had Derby versus Bournemouth this midday kickoff, didn't we, as well? So with all of that being said, we're going to look at every game, every goal, every team, as we always do. Team of the round, goal of the round at the end. Every topic covered in the Championship as ever. If we get a bit of time at the end, we'll do some Q&A. But before we go any further, let's just say a big thank you to Russ, who is our fan sponsor over on Patreon, was a foe, now a friend, currently on loan to the Premier League for a year. Thank you very, very much, Russ. You too can get involved, support the channel if you like. It'll always be free here on YouTube and down the podcast feed. However, if you do want to support, you can do so. www.patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Let's say hi to a few people in here. SJ, Lewis, QPR, TJ, David, Martin, Fulham, Alex, Jamie, Lenny, Annie. I think I'm saying hello to everyone. Gaza, Sloth, Will, Dave, Liam, Jake, Martin, Stephen. There we go. Sorry if I missed you out or you say hi afterwards. We will get to you. But first of all, let me do my James Alexander Gordon impression. If anybody doesn't know who that is, then they're younger than me. I'm sure plenty in the chat will know. And here are your results for this past round. It was QPR 2, Luton 0, Blades 0, Coventry 0 in the 12:30 yesterday. Then the 3 p.m. Saturdays were Bristol City 1, Blackburn 1, Fulham 4, Barnsley 1, Huddersfield 1, West Brom 0. Hull 2, Birmingham 0. That's worth a woof, isn't it? Woof. Middlesbrough 1, Millwall 1, Preston 1, Cardiff 2. Interesting. Reading 1, Forest 1, Stoke 2, Posh 0, Swans 1, Blackpool 1. And we're going to have a double woof for this one. Derby 3, Bournemouth 2. How about that? It wasn't quite top against bottom, but they were top against bottom before the weekend started. If everyone had played the same time, that would have been bottom beating top, which means you've probably all figured it out already. We have got new leaders. So congratulations. Fulham are top of the table. Get your thoughts in on Fulham 4, Barnsley 1. The Fulham goal machine continues. Let me give you a number. 48 goals in 18 games. 100 goals looks a doddle now, doesn't it, at this point? Can they keep it up? If they do, they're going to win the title at a canter, aren't they? I know they've only just gone ahead of Bournemouth, but the goal power of Fulham is just insane. Of course, the other story here is Barnsley, who new manager in their Poya Asbaghi, but He's not starting work until Monday, apparently. Let me just switch this off. I've got Man City Everton on there. It's very much putting me off. Get your thoughts in on this one. It ended 4-1 to Fulham. Rodak in goal. Tete is back at right back, like Fulham needed any more good players. Hector, Ream, Robinson. So Adrabio still suspended. You would think, in the end, is the best back five Rodak, Tete, Adrabio, Ream, and Robinson? Probably. They'll get there soon, won't they? Kearney and Harrison Reed. Cabano, Wilson, Fabio Carvalho returns, dearie me. And the Championship's leading goal scorer, probably if he doesn't kick a ball again still, Alexander Mitrovic up top for Barnsley. It says Poya Asbaghi manager down there, but this is a Joe Lauman caretaker game, isn't it? Collins in goal, back four, apparently. Interesting. Civic, Hellick, Anderson, Williams, Styles and Benson as a midfield too. Let me know if you saw that team shape differently. Fraser, Palmer, Morris, Woodrow. Looks more like a 4-3-3 to me, given the personnel there. But let me know your thoughts. Let's have a look at another boatload of goals for Fulham. And of course, there he is. He scores every single week. Mitrovic from Tete's cross. Look at him. Look at the big brute at the back post, just powering the header in, and within 24 minutes, he's already scored. There's not a lot of point talking about Mitrovic every week, so I'll kind of keep my powder dry until the end of the season. And needless to say, if anything like this standard is kept up, we could be talking about possibly the greatest Championship season ever, if he can keep this goal scoring rate up, because he's going to break every single record in the book as things stand. 21 for the season for Mitro. Sensational. And he lays this one off. I think he doesn't quite get the assist. Maybe there's a touch from a Barnsley player in between. But Fabio Carvalho is back. Apparently he's not signed a new contract, but he gets into the box in that 10 position, bends that into the corner. Great young player, Carvalho. 2-0. Here is Cabano, who I think is aiming to put that to Collins' right and kind of slices it the other side. But hey, when you create as many chances as Fulham do, then, you know, whoop-de-doo, you can slice one in the other corner. Can't you? 3-0. What a miss by Cauley Woodrow here, who hits the post from the goal line. And Victor Adebayo follows in. Decent finish, actually, bouncing back at him, sticks it into the empty net. They're 3-1, but Fulham, another 3-goal margin of victory. This is a really good goal, actually. Look out for this when we do goal of the round. Wilson makes such a good run. He's off the play and he starts sprinting and makes Seri's mind up, and he just dinks it over the top, and Wilson touch and finish. Good goal, that one. Have a think about that. For goal of the round, I mean, we can look at the numbers, but as you'd imagine, they're very, very Fulham heavy. Look at that, 21 shots, for God's sake, 66 penalties. Seven on the big chances, Worth. And work starts on Monday, tomorrow, for Poya Asbaghi. And well done, Fulham, top of the league with just that outlandish goals total of 48 already, which is just insane when you just look down at the goals for the entire rest of the division. And, of course, Bournemouth's defeat means that Fulham did hold on to top spot. Barnsley are 4 points adrift now after Hull's antics yesterday. So let's have a look and we'll get some comments. Great assist for Woodrow. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how he missed there. Frankly, Barnsley were terrible. Seri coming off the bench. Yeah, what a finish. Never in doubt. That's why the new Barnsley manager decided to wait. Yeah, helpful, that one. Mitrovic to break Tony's record. I mean, we're all looking at Guy Whittingham's record rather than Tony's record. Shout out to Seri for providing. Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. We have done that. Fulham on a different level to any other team at the moment. 4 goals, 4 different scorers. Barnsley started well. How many is Mitro on? Must be nearly half of those 40. Well, he's probably on. I mean, if someone works out 21 from 18 games, what that extrapolates to for 46, it probably is 50, I reckon he's on for at the moment. So there we go. As of last night, Mitro had more than 45 of the night. Well, first world problems there for Fulham, isn't it? Absolutely superb. Will Mitro and Wilson get more Premier League time next? I hope so. I think they both will, assuming that they did go up, or do go up indeed. Worth. Right, let's move on. And this is a mega performance by Derby County because having just been deducted another 9 points on top of the 12 they had already, it was Derby 3, Bournemouth 2. And we do have to reiterate, going into the weekend, Derby were bottom and Bournemouth were top. We said the only thing that could get Derby a win in this was siege mentality. And God, they had it in spades. They may well ultimately still be in League One next season. But what a performance by Derby today to beat a Bournemouth side that had only lost one game before going to Pride Park this season. Get your comments in on Derby 3, Bournemouth 2. Tremendous win for Rooney and Derby. Roos in goal. Abasele, Jagielka, Davis, Buchanan, Knight and Lawrence, Shinny, Bird, Thompson and Baldock up top. For Bournemouth, former league leaders Bournemouth, Travers in goal. Stacey, Cahill, Mepham, Davis. Brilliant to see Lewis Cook back. He had a long-term injury. First start back for him. So some good news for Bournemouth today, I guess. Alongside Jeff Lerma, Christie, Billing, Anthony and Dom Solanke up top. Now, my apologies. My pictures are a bit blurry for this one. I don't think they've uploaded on the Sky Sports channel yet, so I had to get them off Twitter. But you'll get the idea when we get to them that is Jason Knight powering in a free header from a Max Bird corner. Not great defending by Bournemouth, but good delivery, good run, good header. They got all those bits right. And Derby lead on 13 minutes. And oh my God, this equalising goal, dearie me. Jaden Anthony puts it in. It's actually quite a good finish. I tweeted, incorrectly actually, this is the worst goal kick I've ever seen. It's actually not. It's the second touch from Keller Roos. But it's such a comically bad goal, this one. Davis takes the goal kick and knocks it to Roos, who has a good touch, and then knocks it about 6 yards ahead of him. There's two Bournemouth players coming in. They nick the ball. Then there's a block tackle, a shot block, one cleared off the line, and then Anthony, as you can see there, spins and sticks it into the net. Horrible goal from a Derby point of view, having got themselves in front. However, from the ridiculous to the sublime, what a goal by Bournemouth here. And Solanke, all you get to see on the still there is the finish. But go out of your way to watch this. This is a brilliant goal. And this is right out of Scott Parker's modern day training book, because you can see them getting in their shape. It goes from right fullback across the left fullback, outside, inside, fullback overload, central midfielder forward, little slip through to Solanke. Brilliant goal. Absolutely brilliant goal by Bournemouth. However, they're not going to win this game because here comes Tom Lawrence. Good feet there. Uses the defending players as the guide and just bends that one in the far corner. Lawrence often gets categorised, sometimes fairly, as a bit of a stick your foot through it type shooter. But this lovely finesse and bends that one into the corner. And a penalty here to win the game in minute 69. It's good work from Buchanan. Shinny on the overlap. And Stacey, I think there is bang to right. Shinny goes past him. The arm goes out. There's some contact. Looks like a foul to me. Penalty. And here comes Lawrence. Smashes it down the middle. What a win for Derby. Whether it makes much difference down at the bottom of the table, who knows? Makes a lot of difference at the top of the table, it has to be said. But tremendous spirit from Rooney and the Derby boys to win this one. 3 big chances apiece, says the numbers. So Bournemouth won't be too happy to concede 3 goals from 3 big chances conceded. Obviously, they didn't take all of them, given Lawrence's second goal. Or, sorry, the first goal for Lawrence. The second goal for Derby was a nice little curler into the corner. I don't know what happened, really. I don't know how Bournemouth would categorise that. Sluggish, or was it just the siege mentality of Derby that gets them the win today? Terrific performance. And I suppose it's quite nice for Derby. They were on -3 points. It's moved them to 0 points. They are, however, Derby still 15, well, if you count goal difference. Oh, no, they'd be all right on goal difference, wouldn't they? Yeah, they would. Better than both Posh and Hull. So we'll say they're 15 points from safety with 29 games to play. We always say 45 to survive here. Might be a bit lower than that this season, I wonder. But a long way off for Derby, but maybe let's not worry about that and just say congratulations to Rudy and the Rams boys today on an excellent victory. Let's have a look and see what you guys are saying here. Jake, forget siege mentality. That was fighting on the beaches in the fields, wasn't it? Derby for team of the round. I suspect that will probably be a bit of a landslide, but we'll see. Most people normally just vote for the team they support anyway, won't they? Hats off to Derby. Keep playing like that. Well, yeah, if you beat what were on Friday the best team in the league, then yeah, they will stay up. But hey, yeah, Thompson was superb. Shock of the round, fair play to Derby. A great performance. We fight to the end when Tom Lawrence is on form. I'm not going to say unplayable. I don't believe in that. But also, big shout to Liam Thompson. Yes, very much so. Agree with that. I like that. Derby have made the points deduction. Yes, they have. They've beaten Stoke and Bournemouth, who I believe are currently 2nd and 4th in the table. So I'll give you that one. What else have we got? Derby should have conceded another goal. They're suicidal playing out from the back. Well, there you go. They did not. How well is Festi playing? Yeah, he's excellent, isn't he? Played for the same youth team as my son. Excellent. Yeah, very, very good player. Woof. Well played, Derby. And Bournemouth off the top, now replaced by Fulham. Disappearing a little bit further back, worryingly, and I hope we got some West Brom fans in, are West Brom, who I believe are now 8 points off. Well, that's obviously stayed the same because both West Brom and Bournemouth lose this weekend. Very good weekend for Fulham, hasn't it? It was Huddersfield 1, West Brom 0. Huddersfield continue to perpetually mug me off. I had them to be relegated this season. Doesn't look like that's happening, does it? So well played, Huddersfield. Get your comments on this one. And especially, I don't want to make it all about West Brom, but it does look like they're slipping back. It looks like we're going to get a Leeds and West Brom situation like we had in 1920, where we get into the middle of December and they're miles clear. I think Leeds and West Brom were like 12 points ahead at that point. It got closer, but in the end, they still both went up, didn't they? Let's have a look at this one. Please get your comments. Here are your teams. So for Huddersfield, who get the win. Sorry, again, don't want to make it all about West Brom. Nichols, Pearson, Sarr, Colwill, Toffolo, Turton, High, O'Brien, Thomas, Ward, and Sinani, who's going to get the goal after only 6 minutes in this one. Johnston, the England keeper, in goal for the Baggies. Kipre, Bartley, and Clark. Gardner Hickman, who we've heard good things about from the West Brom fans, young wing back there, in for Furlong. Townsend, Mowat returns. That's good news for West Brom. Livermore is getting a red card, and I don't believe I've got a picture of that. Might have missed that. If anyone wants to describe Livermore's red card in their chat with any kind of balance, I will read it out. Dean Garner, Grant, and Phillips Robinson not in the starting lineup once again. Here, if I can find it, where am I looking, guys? There is the goal. Slipped through for Ward, who you can see crossing for Sinani. It's a bit of a weird moment in this if you watch this back, because I don't know if Townsend goes to sleep, but he is ahead of Sinani. I don't know whether he thinks Ward's going to be offside. He just goes to sleep and lets him run by him, which makes it a very easy assist there for Ward, who slides it across, and Sinani sticks it into the empty net. Apologies, I don't have the red card for Livermore. If anyone can describe that to me, that would be lovely. But Huddersfield continue to impress. Let's have a quick look at the violent conduct. Jake Livermore, 78. Apologies, I don't have a picture. Bit of a weird set of numbers, that, isn't it? 64% possession, 20 shots for West Brom, which is a huge number. Only 2 on target and no big chances. So that sounds like a lot of huff and puff and not a lot of blowing the house down. JMIIE, Livermore high foot. Thank you. What was it? Was it serious foul play or was it violent conduct? I can't Sorry, I should know this, shouldn't I? That's missed me. Violent conduct. My bad. Huddersfield get the win. Am I being mad, or have Huddersfield got a good home record? Yeah, 6th best in the league. Look at that. 13 points from 5 at home for Huddersfield. I think someone's just pointed out West Brom closer to 7th than 2nd. And 7th is indeed Huddersfield there. So look, West Brom, over those last 4 games, only 4 points. Bournemouth, to be fair, have only put on 6 and Fulham have put on 12. So it's been a very good swing in Fulham's direction, certainly over those past 4 games. It does need to be said that Bournemouth's points total is excellent still, even with those 2 defeats. West Brom wouldn't be that far off most seasons. You look at their 2 point per game. They're only 4 points off, 2 points per game at 18 games, which is decent. But yeah, Bournemouth and Fulham have just set such an explosive pace. Huddersfield, well, I keep saying, in the end, they'll just gradually trend down, a bit like Reading last season, not in terms of the super start, but Huddersfield continue to prove me wrong for sure. And this is a great result against one of the year 1 parachute teams, beat Sheffield United, one of the other ones as well, didn't they, Huddersfield? So, fair dues to Corberon, and just have a look at that 8-point gap. That is a long way, considering the rate of points that Fulham and Bournemouth are scoring at. Baggies fans getting fed up with the style. I've heard murmurings. Yes, I've heard murmurings. Points total's good, isn't it? But hey, sometimes the points total can mask things like that. But style, agree with that. Baggies going nowhere. I've seen West Brom fans calling for Val's head. I have too. Yeah, I have too. Ismail is proving that every week passes. He was just part of an irregular season at Barnsley rather than being a good coach. Well, as I always say, in the fullness of time, we will find out. So glad to see Corberon doing well for himself. Yeah, brave manager to take that job, and a brave hire from Huddersfield as well. Clubs are starting to figure out Baggy's style of play. Well, I think we all know what the style of play is, but maybe they're figuring out how to stop it, because sometimes it's the kind of style of play where you know what's coming, but you still can't stop it because of their physicality and the the kind of stamina and power implications of stopping it. But there you go. Kick Campbell in face, Ben. I assume we're talking about Jake Lidmore there. Thank you, guys. I did miss that out in my pictorial evidence. Let's move on and talk about Stoke City 0, Peterborough 2. And Stoke fans, don't get upset with me. This is nothing to do with Stoke, what I'm about to say, but more about the division. I've said that the door is wide open below those sort of parachute teams at the top there. And I think Stoke are proving it, because even Stoke fans would admit they've not been incredible this season. They're in 4th, win 3 on the trot, games 16, 17, 18, and they're 1 point off 3rd place. So it's so open in there. And Stoke had been pretty consistent, good home record, nice little run, 10 points in 4. In fact, they were 3-0 up against Cardiff in one of those games and didn't win. And they would be 3rd if they'd taken the 3 points. Now, ifs, buts, and maybes, I know. And again, don't take that the wrong way, Stoke fans. I'm making a point about the division, that the door is wide open in the playoffs. If you can get in there, you're probably going to have to beat a parachute team in there. But playoffs are playoffs. 3 games. Can you do it? Maybe. Anyway, I should be talking about Stoke 2. West Brom, idiot. Stoke 2, Peterborough 0, and the goal-scoring return of Tyrese Campbell. Look at that attack momentum graph. Just have a quick look at that if you're not listening on the podcast. Lots of blue on there for Peterborough, but Stoke get the win. Look at that. 37% possession. But if you do look a little bit closer, the Posh only had 1 shot on target. It's more Michael O'Neill last season than Michael O'Neill this season. Here is your Stoke team. Davies, Chester, Bart, Ostigard, Timon Smith, Vrancic, Allen, Sawyers, Fletcher and Brown. For the Posh, Cornell, Kent, Thompson, Beavers, Butler, Ward, Norburn, Taylor, Grant, Dembele and Smodic. I believe Posh still have the worst away record in the league, and you can stick another 0-pointer on there for Peterborough. Here is a Vrancic with the opener on just 3 minutes. Sawyers plays him in. I think this one takes a deflection, doesn't it? Vrancic is a very good long-range shooter, hits it nice and early, but I think there's a nick to take it past Cornell in the goal. Bit of WWE stuff here. Sam Surridge, I think probably rightly actually, gets done for violent conduct here. It's a bit of a weird one. I can't see who the posh player is, can't see the number. Little kind of nudge into the hoardings that if you make it look like is part of the tackle, you kind of normally get away with, don't you? Surridge is pretty angry about it. Maybe understandably, he just loses his temper. And you can see as he's getting up, he just launches some kind of what you'd call, I don't know, violent conduct. It does say in the laws, and I haven't got them. Actually, I might have them in the StreamYard somewhere. But what do they say? It's the intent to headbutt or strike with hand or arm or head rather than the impact. So silly from Surridge. I get why he lost his temper, but little bit of the red miss. But don't worry about that because we've been excited about him coming back. He made a substitute return a few games ago. And here we go. Tyrese Campbell, Vrancic slips him in. And then it's quality, vintage Tyrese Campbell here. Inside, outside, dribbling into the box. Great finish there with the right foot into the corner. 2-0 Stoke. And I mean, I'll defer to the comments if anybody was at the game here. Looks a fairly tight one. No big chances, really, it says in the stats. It says Posh hit the woodwork. It says 3 shots on target for Stoke, and they scored 2 of them. So a bit of a tight game that I think Stoke played the penalty box as well, and maybe a couple of dangerous players, Vrancic and Campbell, getting the goals. But Stoke, 10 points in 4, go up to 4th. And as I say, the door is wide open in those playoff positions now. Posh, 15 points from 18. I always maintain, even though it might be slightly lower this season with points deductions and whatnot, you need a point per game, 45 to survive is the 10-year average. They're just off it, aren't they? In fact, the entire bottom 6 there, you can see Cardiff are at a point per game. Reading, Hull, Posh, Barnsley and Derby are all under it. And the Posh have just got to sort out that away record and they'll probably be okay. Look at that worst away record in the division. 3 points in 9 games. Let's have a look at some comments on Stoke 2. Peterborough 0. Hand up from Sloth. He was there. Worrying performance. Interesting. We've got some key injuries again and we don't look cohesive. I think the result was deserved. But it was a poor game against a below-average team. Ugly, but there you go. So Sloth is kind of backing up what the numbers kind of say, that there's really not a lot in there in terms of Stoke not really blowing Peterborough away and maybe just had better players and game management. Worth. What else are we saying here? This time, if year, can anyone to Stoke get? I got no idea what that means. Oh, there you go. At this time of year, can any team get to Stoke and get anything? They do have a very good home record, Stoke, don't they? Yeah, look at that. 5th in the table for Stoke. Is this a Sunderland fan? Unlucky yesterday. Well, we'll talk about that on the Blue Monday podcast later on. Don't let me lament about Ipswich today. Not the time or the place, for goodness sake. Right, it is the time. Oh, and this one will be a quick one. I need your help with this. Sheffield United 0, Coventry 0. I was off at Leicester and Chelsea yesterday, so I did not see this game. But apparently, not a very exciting one, according to what you guys said. So give me your views on Blades 0, Coventry 0 yesterday at Bramall Lane. I suppose if you're Coventry and you're picking up clean sheets away from home, and points, and you've got such good home form, and Sheffield United, even though they're having a pretty bad season, to be blindly honest, I suppose that's all right. Coventry not losing many games. I do think they need to pick up their away form can't rely squarely on that amazing home form that they've got. But again, the door is wide open below the parachute teams for a playoff place. And Coventry could do it. They really, really could if they can just edge up that away form and the home form doesn't drop off too much. I don't see them being far off if that's the case. Get your thoughts in. I know a lot of you will have watched on Sky Sports on this one, so help me out. Fotheringham in goal for the Blades. Davies, Egan and Basham in a back three. Interesting. Bogle and Stevens wide. Fleck, Hurahan. No Norwood suspended after him. I made him my player for what to watch. Deary me, idiot. Gibbs White and Sharp off and Die. I'm not having Ndai played ahead of Sharp. That might be the GPS vest picking that one up and Ndai running past Sharp a few times. Anyway, let me know if you think differently. Coventry, Moore in goal. Hyam, McFadzean, Rose. No. Oh, God. Who's the good fullback for Coventry? Forgive me, I've forgotten. But Todd Kane comes in. Darbo. Ian Martson, sorry. Down the left-hand side. Darbo switches sides. Sheff, Harmer. Another yellow card for Harmer. Sensational. Alan O'Hare and Gyökeres. So it looks like Coventry, a little bit of a tweak there. Normally they're a two up top type team with Gyökeres and Godden. But, little bit of a tweak and they get the point. I haven't got much in the way of pictures on this one, guys. I've got Dave McGoldrick from the highlights package I saw. That was the most obvious chance in on the left foot. And anyone who's watched McGoldrick knows that very good technical player. But, the power of the shot after the injuries he's had has dipped off a little bit. I'll get your comments in just a sec. Guys, look, exclusively at two big chances to Blades, 0 to Coventry. Then you can flip it around. Look, 4 shots on target to Coventry, 2 to Blades. Just looks a bit of a nothing game. Let's see if the comments bear that out. We just look at the league table. Coventry still big picture. Fantastic up there in 5th spot. Stoke have gone above them. Coventry, Fulham now have the best home record in the league. Coventry just need a little bit of a push. They're only a point per game away from home. At home, they're 22 points from 9 games, which is outstanding. So, close up that disparity. And as I say, the door's wide open. Sheffield United, I'm a big Jokanovic fan, but it's a bind, isn't it? Look at that, 20 points from 18 games. Where is the turn coming? 2 points in the last 4 for the Blades. They are not in good nick. Let's have a look here. Boring game, so I heard. There you go. Matt was at the game, and I'm sure he'll have done a vlog on that. So go and check that out. Fairly uneventful. Blades could have won late on, but lacked cutting edge. Sky Blue still hanging on in the playoffs. Matt, the door's open, isn't it? The door is open. A solid point for both. Tom says a lot for how far we've come that we're disappointed with a point, newly promoted. Totally agree. Totally agree. Why have Sheffield United become so bad again? Joe, goodness, how long have you got? Nathan, Coventry bossed the game, did they? For 70 points, but we were under pressure during the last 20. Good point overall. We would have lost that last season. We get a win at Birmingham. It looks fine. Yeah, certainly agree with that last sentiment. Alex always liked and rated Dave McGoldrick as a player. Seems to miss a lot of chances. Bless. Poor old Didsy in the Premier League. He had that horrible stat against him, didn't he? So there you go. Did we manage to fill 3 or 4 minutes on a 0-0 there? I think we did. Right, talk to me, guys, because I know a lot of you will have watched this one on Friday night. It was QPR 2, Luton 0. I've been out working all day and wanted to hang with Shaylee and Enid. So, again, I'm going to need your help. Let me know, especially if you watch this one on Sky Sports. Rangers 2, Luton 0. I had a hankering for Luton. I had them in my predictions, but Rangers get the win. And clean sheet. A Warburton clean sheet, everybody. You love to see that if you're a Rangers fan. I think they've had a few, actually, recently, haven't they, QPR? So maybe I should stop with that narrative. One, okay, away win at Cardiff. Hey, they've kept 2 clean sheets in the last 4, Rangers, and have only conceded 2 goals in the last 4. So am I going to have to zip my lip about Rangers defending? Is it improving? And hey, lots of love. We always ask about Andre Dazelle as an Ipswich fan. Seems to be improving as well. Anyway, here is your Rangers team. Dieng in goal. Dickey, Dunn, Barbe. Wallace returns. Adoma still right wing back. Dazelle partners Johansson and plays another 90. I like what I'm seeing, Andre. Willock, Austin, and Chair is a pretty tasty championship front three. Sluga in goal for Luton. Lockyer, Bradley, Naismith. Onyedinma, Bree, Campbell, Mpanzu, Lansbury, Adebayo, and Cornick. And from what I heard, Luton made a fair amount of chances, didn't take any of them. QPR didn't make that many, but did take them. And ergo, a 2-0 win for the Rangers. Where am I looking? There you go. Sluga, where are you, my friend? You are out there in no man's land. We said a million times, poor old goalkeepers. You've got a quick decision to make, but if you come, you can't end up there, can you? And it's an easy finish for a player of Chris Willock's quality on 20 minutes there to loft that over. Look how hard the chance is if Sluga stays back on his line when you consider that Campbell is back alongside Willock. There you go. And that changes the nature of the game at 10 minutes. Chair just popping that one over the top. Willock with the finish. And I'm going to do a clanging name drop. Kevin Phillips said to me in our interview on the channel, sometimes in the box, Ben, just stand still. And that's exactly what Charlie Austin, look, all the play goes ahead of him. He just drops off it. It's a good header back. Actually, very good assist by Jimmy Dunn. And Austin, look at that. He knows exactly where he's putting that, doesn't he? 2-0. He's been doing that all his career, Charlie Austin. We always say about him, give him big chances. He puts most of them away, doesn't he? And that's exactly what Luton, from what I've heard, didn't do in this game. Good win for Rangers. But yeah, let's have a look at the numbers. 16 shots to 8 in Luton's favour. 4 shots on target to 2 in Luton's favour. 3 big chances to 0, again in Luton's favour. But it's Rangers with the clean sheet, the goals and the win. And Luton, we said this maybe 5 or 6 weeks back. They had that really high XG, but we're down in the middle of the table. They've got to take their chances, the Hatters. And that's what Rangers did. Still in 6th position. And they needed that win, didn't they? Because look, Stoke won and Huddersfield won as well. So good stuff from Rangers. 8 points in the last 4. You know me. I love a little run of 2 points per game. What I don't love, Luton, is 3 defeats in 4. Not great. Again, I think there's a Coventry fan in the chat saying, look at the change in standards. We don't judge Luton by low standards anymore. They've done so well, haven't they? They're still in 11th, but I think it's going to be some, well, we'll see what the comments say, some disappointed Luton fans there. Let's have a look here. Saxben, if Senny had slightly misplaced his hand on 3 minutes, the whole game would have been ruined. We also owed a bit to Luton's wayward finish. Otherwise, we were well worth the win. There you go. Some caveats from Saxbend in there. Will, thought QPR were professional in the way they took their 2 chances. Problem for Luton was shooting. And that's, we like Cornick and Adebayo, don't we? But yeah, not clinical enough. I do agree with Will there. Jay was at QPR. Actually, to be fair to those Luton fans, on the shot, can we get a shot of the away end? I think we can, can't we? Pretty rammed. Have a look at that. There you go. So not very far. Trip down the M1. Nice to see that away end full. Nice to see any away end full after the COVID nonsense, isn't it? Who was saying that? Jay. We played quite well. No end product. QPR defended quite well and thought kept the ball well. Willock, goal of the round. Oh, I don't know about that, Alex. I'm looking at the keeper on that one, I have to say. Ball for Willock's goal. It was a good ball by Chair, wasn't it? But I suspect if you asked him, he would say, well, look, I saw the gap and I just played it into the area. And yeah, it's good execution by Chair, isn't it? But Sluga is. Oh, let's see there. Kevin Phillips' friend. There we go. Great finish by Willock. Austin got a goal. Hopefully the first of many. Wallace back. Looked like he hasn't missed a beat. Long live Wallace. Remember, he was getting buried there. Stephen, bad day at the office. No clinical. I think we've got the narrative of this one. Definitely nonsense, Ben. Well said, mate. What did I say was nonsense? Sorry, Cam. There we go. Nasty news about violence after the game. I know nothing about this, so if anyone can put any more meat on the bone, maybe we can do it in the Q&A. QPR 2, Luton 0. We are moving on to Bristol City. God, I can't write. Bristol City 1, Blackburn 1. There we go. I can talk, I think. I'm trying to write down the time codes as we go to save myself a bit of time. Get your comments in. Bristol City 1, Blackburn 1. Another home game for Bristol City and another home game that they do not win. They've really struggled at home, haven't they? The Robins, Blackburn have got goal power. Blackburn have got Ben Brereton. Diaz up top, and he scores again. Get your comments in. Raise your hand if we were at the game. We love to hear from all of you, especially if you were at the match. Down at Ashton Gate, and Bristol City lined up with Bentley in goal. Viner, Callas, Baker, O'Dowda and Scott. Williams, Backinson, Benaroos. Help me out in the chat. Benaroos, goodness me. New one on me. Ayman Benaroos. Anyone help me out on that? I'm not backward in coming forward if I've not come across a player before. He can't have played for Bristol City before. I would have come across him. Martin and Vyman up top. For Blackburn, Kaminsky, Nyambi, Lenihan, Wharton, Aiden, Davenport, Buckley, Travis plays for Bournemouth, idiot. Kadra, Paveda, flanking, Ben Brereton, Diaz, the goal machine up top. Here are the goals, and where are they? God, I haven't labelled this up very well today. And there is your opening goal for Bristol City. Callum O'Dowda from Vyman's little slip through, but it does take a deflection, doesn't it? Good run by O'Dowda, pulls the trigger. I don't know, you tell me. I don't know whether Kaminsky's saving it or not, but he's certainly not saving it after it loops up to his left-hand side. But I've always liked O'Dowda. Good player. I think Bristol City are a better team with him than without him for sure. And Blackburn are certainly a better team with Ben Brereton Diaz than they are without him. And this goal so smacks of a player in form. When you're in form, you just hit this one early and it flies in the top corner. When you're not, maybe you take a little half a second longer and it doesn't fly in the top corner. But Ben Brereton Diaz absolutely smashes this one in. We'll look at the goal scorers table. But Mitrovic, Solanke and Brereton Diaz all scored this weekend. Fair play to the lot of them. Three strikers all having a good season. And Blackburn are having a good season. Bristol City less. So let's have a look at the numbers. Oh, I'm going to have some annoyed Bristol City fans. Look at that. One shot on target for the Rovers. And they get the draw. 12 shots to 8. One big chance to 0. But isn't that just Bristol City's home form? Even when the numbers tell us they edged that game. I mean, someone's eye test might tell us difference. But they don't win these games, do they? And you can see down there just the one home win this season. 8 points from 9 is relegation form at home for Bristol City. And they are way better away from home with 4 victories there. There is our league table. Blackburn in 8th. I'm going to repeat myself. The door is wide open for a Blackburn, a Huddersfield, a Millwall, a Blackpool. If they want to go on a 2-point per game run over the next 8 games, I suspect they'll probably be in the playoff positions when we get to sort of the end of January. So we will see. But Blackburn are certainly outperforming where a lot of us had them after selling Adam Armstrong. Bristol City just need to, I don't know what it is, just need to get themselves moving, don't they? We talked about transition at Bristol City basically since Lee Johnson left, and then since Dean Holden left, and then since Mark Ashton left, and all of that stuff. They need to get themselves going, for goodness sakes, don't they? Let's have a look at the comments, see what you said. Did I call Bristol City Bristol Rovers? I've done that before. My apologies, my sincere apologies. Someone will clip that out. Liam, there we go. He was at the game, played well in the first half, on the front foot, but in the second half, we reverted back to sitting back and defending 1-0 lead, which we can't do. It's just the nerves at home, Liam. Did I actually call Bristol City Bristol Rovers? Because they were playing, I might have called Blackburn Rovers I'm going to defend myself here, unless someone shows me the clip. Anir, this was a game, lots of positives, good. We should have been 2-3-0 up. Benarouz, young Algerian, like it. Come on against Barnsley. Blackburn score with first shot on target. Yeah, that's the way it goes. 18-year-old academy. You've got to be fair to Bristol City. Their academy's very good, isn't it? With Conway and Scott and this fella now. I'm sure I'm missing a couple. Mr. E refused to believe Ben Brereton. Diaz is the same player as Ben. No, he's not. No, he's not. There we go. Oh, the gag goes on. The gag goes on. Dearie me. Sorry for being that guy, but have you done Reading? Not yet, Alistair. Right. Let's move on. Who are we doing next? We're doing the return, not the return of the Mac, the return of Chris Wilder. And it was Borough 1, Millwall 1. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Hands up if you were at the game as well. Borough 1, Millwall 1. I banned people a few weeks ago predicting Millwall draws. And then they went a few games without draws. And now they've drawn 2 in a row, haven't they? Good old Gary Rowett and his predilection for drawing games. And I don't know. Will both managers take this? Wilder not losing on his first game out and essentially drawing with a team slightly above him in the table. And Millwall going away and drawing against a team. I don't know where you new manager bouncers are on this one. A draw for Wilder. Does that class? I'm not sure. Daniels in goal for the Borough. Peltier, Bamba, McNair. Is it a 3 at the back for Wilder? Ooh. Jones, Boller, wide. Tavernier, House and Crooks. Watmore, Sporar up top. For Mill, Bialkowski in goal. Ballard, Hutchison, Cooper. Malone, Leonard, Saville, Mitchell. Wallace, Bennett, Afobe. And it was a rather good start for Mr. Wilder, wasn't it? With Matt Crooks scoring on 15 minutes. Watmore pings it to the back post. What more could you want? And we said this about Crooks. If you do play him as a midfielder, when he gets into the box, Johnny Walk style, he actually played for Middlesbrough, didn't he? So there we go. That's not even an Ipswich reference. He's very good. He's like an extra striker with his size and aerial ability, and he nods that one in, just bullying on the back post. 1-0. However, it's a bit of a weird one, this equaliser. It's gone down as a Bamba own goal. It's very blurry. That must be a phobia if it's a central striker. I think he kind of slides in, and then does it bounce off Bamba, or does Bamba slide in with him and it kind of trickles in? Wrong foot, Daniels in goal. And the game ends 1-1. Those the only 2 goals. Get your thoughts in on this one. There are the numbers. And again, like we had some grumpy Bristol City fans after only facing 1 shot on target. Yeah, there you go. Look, if it's an own goal, remember the goal won't class as a shot on target because it didn't come from a Millwall player, to be quite pedantic. But the numbers say Borough only faced 1 shot on target and 0 big chances. So chance lost for Millwall. I don't know. For Borough, you tell me in the chat. They didn't face any big chances, only 1 shot on target. Didn't get the win off 51% possession, 13 shots and 10 corner kicks. Always tells us a little bit about territory, doesn't it? Not everything. I know. We need to look at the eye test. Millwall still up there in 9th. I'll repeat myself. Only lost 4 games, Millwall. So they'll do that to you. You have to look at the goals for column, don't you? Only 18 scored. I'm sure some people will be making some mean comparisons with Mitrovic and Millwall's goal total but they're up there in 9th. And again, the door is open, for goodness sakes. Borough, no wins in 4, but Wilder in now. And we'll see if they start playing beautifully brave attacking football with 3 at the back, wing backs, overloads down the side of the pitch, you name it. Let's see what the chat says. Block shot goes in off Bamba. Okay, so if Obi hits the shot, it gets blocked, it hits Bamba, and then it goes in. Right? Is that what we are saying? Derry, Bart, the Millwall keeper, was the man of the match. Yeah. And it says, just like the whole of the McCarthy era, he's not wrong. 3 player of the years in a row for Bart there. Ground out the draw. Cooper, 5th yellow, so he'll be out of the next game. Mill draw. Return of the Wilder and return of the Millwall draw. Must apologise. I wish I'd taken the simple tack in Sax Bend. I'm sure you're miles ahead of me in the Football 365 Predictions League. Get involved in that. Alex got away with one here. Borough should have been out of sight by half-time. Phoebe with a goal of the round contender. I sense the ... sarcasm, excuse me. A chasm between me saying the right word and the wrong word. Everybody, there we go. Middlesbrough shout for goal of the round. Stop it, you lot. For the assist. There we go. Not the other way round. My second perfect game this week. Millwall always get draws. Well, there we go. Right. 4 to go, guys. Stick with me. Swansea 1. Blackpool 1. Excuse me. Get your comments in on this one. Swans 1. Pool 1. 2 points in 3 for Blackpool. Actually, both of these sides, just a little trend down. We've been very impressed with Blackpool, who've gone great guns all the way up towards those playoff positions. Brilliant start after promotion from League One from them. And bad start for Swansea. But the trend was definitely up under Russ Martin over a sort of 8-9 game sample size. Here are your teams in this one. Get your comments in. Swans 1, Pool 1. Hamer in goal. Cabango, Norton, Manning, Bidwell, Laird, Grimes. New contract for Grimes. Great news for Swans there after everyone left in the summer. Downs, not everyone, a few. IU, Roberts. Who else left? The loanees. There you go. Woodman. Great. Okay, everyone left Swansea in the summer. I can say that. I've justified it now. Patterson. Sorry, did I say Downs, Grimes, Patterson, Mitchum, and Joel Pirro. He's quality, isn't he? Up top. For Poole, Grimshaw in goal. Sterling, Ekpateta, Husband. Where are the centre halves? Gabriel, James. Seems like there's about 4 fullbacks in there, doesn't it? Mitchell and Anderson. Wintle and Connolly. Yates up top. Now, I will scroll down and I will say, referee Stroud. How did I know? Referee Stroud in charge of this one. And there's 2 penalty shouts on Ethan Laird. You know me, I can't be bothered with debating refereeing decisions. But I think the second one was probably a penalty and it got missed. And we'll leave it there. So we'll focus in on the goals. Where's the first one, guys? Great. I love this from Pirro. He kind of comes in off the left-hand side, moves onto his right foot, and because they've got the low block on, you can see a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very, very narrow. Talk about Blackpool having loads of fullbacks on the pitch. Pirro just thinks, okay, I'll have a shot then. He slaps it into the top corner with the right foot. Yes, you then get the 2 penalty shouts, referee Stroud, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure we'll get some comments. But Blackpool do get the equaliser. Keshi Anderson, who's had a good season, hasn't he, on 86 minutes. Swans fans will be annoyed. Did they assert their dominance enough to get a victory? They'll say so with the caveat of maybe they could have had a penalty. But again, I get bored with talking refereeing decisions. What I will say, when you do want to add up the stats, did they exert their dominance enough? 60% on the possession, but Blackpool 8 shots to 5, 3 on target to 2, 4 shots inside the box to 1, 4 corners to 3. So most of the numbers, with the caveat that maybe Swan should have had a penalty, most of the numbers do go in Blackpool's favour. So I don't know. Go and scrap it out in the comments over whether they asserted their dominance enough or whether Blackpool, in the end, given game state, were they good value for the point? I don't know. You tell me. Quite tight in the table for 2 of these. And yeah, a little drop off. Big drop off in terms of points per game because Blackpool have been so good. 2 points out of the last 3 for them. Still in 10th, which big picture is very good. Swansea, 1 point in the last 2. So a little drop off for them over the last 2 games. Both these 2 sides, we'll be looking at that open door. Love is an open door. Some Frozen for you there on a November afternoon. We'll be looking at that open door with the playoffs. Swans Morgan was at the game. First half, Blackpool pressed us, but we gained control. Second half, couldn't put passes together, but we could have had a penalty. Seemed like it. There you go, Morgan. Good input from you. We can't obsess too much on missed refereeing decisions, can we? Anderson saved Blackpool's game. Swansea was great. I'm not getting involved in petitions against poor old referee Stroud. There we go. Pirro's right foot is supposedly his weaker. 5 goals with it. Yeah, he's excellent, isn't he? Steve, I'm not going to question a referee's objectivity, so I'll put your comment up on the screen. I can understand you being frustrated with a missed decision, but I'm not going to question any referee's objectivity. I won't go that step further, but never been so angry with a ref. That's been said about referee Stroud a few times, hasn't it, in the comments. Right, game number 10. Reading 1, Forest 1. Get your comments in this one, on this one. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're not with a man. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Some terrible song references from me. But anyway, if you're at the game, raise your hand. And get your comments in whether you're at the game or not. Forest are turning into draw specialists now. 3 in 4 for them. And Reading, their first game after their 6-point P&S deduction. Woof. 1-1 draw for Andy Carroll's Reading. Yeah. Right, there are your teams. Sorry, I'm distracting myself now. Pathetic, isn't it? Southwood in goal for Reading. Holmes, Rahman, Dan, and Moore. The centre-backs, Drinkwater, Laurent and Swift. However that midfield's configured. Yidem, front right. Normally plays fullback, doesn't he? Ajaria down the left. Pushkas down the middle for Forest. Samba, Spence, Worrell, McKenna, Lowe, Yates, Colback, Lolly, Zinkernagel, Johnson, Graben. Here's a shout for goal of the day. I know Reading fans will tell me this is bad defending, and it is, I agree. But 2 things can be true. It's bad defending, but very good from Zinkernagel, who comes in off the left. It's a bit of a powder puff tackle by Moore, isn't it, after the give and the go. Sidestep around Dan, and good finish, good goal. I know the Reading fans will say it's poor defending, but well played, Zinkernagel. There is a shout. I'll put him on my list if I can spell Zinkernagel whilst talking and looking at the camera at the same time for goal of the round. 1-0 Forest after only 4 minutes. Joe Lolly will be very pleased to get an assist for that one, won't he? Just slide it in. No, actually, more than that. It was a good give and go, wasn't it? Here is the equaliser. Good corner this by Reading. Everyone's expecting it to go on Carroll's head, and they stick it in low, and Dan sweeps it in. Dan with the right foot for the equalising goal on 64 minutes. And guess who? John Swift gets the assist for that one. The numbers tell us this looks fairly even, doesn't it? 13 shots to 12 in Forest's favour, 6 on target, 4 in Reading's favour, 5 corners to 4 in Reading's favour, 2 big chances to 1 in Forest's favour. The numbers tell me that it's a fairly reasonable 1-1 looking game. We'll see what the chat tells me, of course. Yeah, Forest, I don't know, you new manager bouncers will say they were underperforming. Then they had a new manager bounce. Now they're regressing to the mean, which is somewhere in between the under and the overperformance. You might be right if you say that. I'm still curmudgeoning about the old new manager bounce. Reading, given their new points total, are 2 points off the relegation zone, aren't they? So Reading need to be functioning. I mean, sorry, had the 6 points on 23 from 18. Tells you that they're better than relegation. Now with the points, we said this about Sheffield Wednesday, though. You can get kind of reduced to that level and suckered down, can't you? I think Reading are better than those sides they're in there with. So we'll see if they can hoist themselves above that. When's the new single out? Nice one. Well, you see, Cam, I went in a bit too high with Love Isn't Open. Isn't that an octave? Love isn't bum, 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 hi, ho. Yeah, it's an octave. I can't jump a whole octave without warming up, can I? Big Andy making the team. Andy loves Andy Carroll. Doesn't he? Steve, understand your position on refs. Don't like to use it. No, of course. I'm not saying you're using an excuse. That's just my standard. I will judge their competence, Steve, but I won't question their integrity, or they may be a bit bad sometimes, but I would never say that they're biased or dodgy or cheats or whatever. But there we go. Yide and wide right is correct, although drop back. Pauno went 4-4-2, 4-4 F into You love to see it. Cooper doing a good job, yes. Carroll coming on lifted the whole atmosphere. You can imagine that star power of Carroll's would do that at Championship level. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he can bang in a couple of goals. Right, 2 more games for us. Sorry, as I go hideously long. And it was Hull 2, Birmingham 0. Is that back-to-back wins for Hull? Well played. And especially with the Reading and Derby points deductions, probably been a pretty good week for Hull. Or I say week, either side. It's back-to-back wins, isn't it? Yes. Same as Norwich. What price would you have had on Norwich in the Premier League and Hull in the Championship, both doing back-to-back wins from where they were? Now, if you're annoyed with referee Stroud, I suspect we'll get some Birmingham fans, and there's no objectivity or opinion needed for an atrocious refereeing decision in this one. But we'll get to that on poor old referee Harrington, who didn't quite catch the ball going out of play before Hull take the lead in this one. Anyway, the Hull fans won't care because they've won back-to-back games and everything looks a little bit more rosy when you do that. And the Birmingham fans will suggest, probably quite reasonably, that first goal does change the game. But then a moment of petulance and silliness from Gary Gardner, who should know better, just rubs salt into the wound, doesn't it? Right, here are your teams. Baxter, Ingram, has he been dropped? He's on the bench there in goal for Hull. And look, the SofaScore algorithm's giving him an 8.3. Lots of people get very emotional about those SofaScore algorithm ratings, don't they? Bernard, McLaughlin, and Greaves. Is he gone to the back three finally? Lewis, Potter, and Longman. Doherty, Smallwood, Honeyman, Wilkes, and McGuinness up top. Some of our Hull friends were saying, change to this system. And he was stubbornly going with the sort of 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whatever you want to call it. For Blues, Sarkic in goal, Sanderson, Roberts, Dean. And some of my Blues friends saying, Ben, why is he playing wing-backs when he's using McGree and Bella, who are both kind of sort of wingers inside, forwards, midfielders, advanced players, whatever you want to call them. Woods, Sunjic, Gardner. I bet he didn't play 10. I bet he played in the flat midfield 3, didn't he? Hogan, brother, and Deeney up top. Let's have a look at... I mean, there's only one place to start. And look, I often tell people off and correct people when they say, oh, it's a definite penalty or a definite foul. Because it's not, is it? It's always in the referee's opinion. So it's never definite. Sometimes it's more obvious for the other. We can use the word definite here, can't we? Because that ball is definitely out of play. So I can say quite safely, no opinion required here. That goal should definitely have been disallowed. And we still have people who don't want VAR in the Championship. You don't want goals like that getting given. Look, I'm going to give the linesman a pass because you can see Sarkic. Who is that? Is that Roberts there? I can't quite make it out. Are probably blocking the linesman's view and the post. I don't know where referee Harrington was. Look, I understand referees try and sometimes they miss stuff, but oh, that's bad, isn't it? That's not a good decision. So the whole goal, first goal, shouldn't have stood, should it? And Mr. Hogan does miss a one-on-one in the first half as well, as he has a habit of doing so. This is so silly from Gardner. I don't know if McGuinness and Wilkes are sledging him and getting in his ears, but we said before about the who was the Stoke player? Who was it? Surridge. It says in the laws it doesn't matter about contact, or you can't show intent to strike with the head or the arm or the hand. You just can't do it. You're gonna get a red card, and that stitches his teammates up, doesn't it? At what point does he get red carded? 43 minutes, and then you're defending a first half where you've had a crappy goal where the ball's clearly gone out of play given against you, and your number 9's missed the one-on-one. It could all be so different, but no, second half. And this is the problem with having someone like Jeremy Bella, who I like very much and has done a good turn at wing-back, but Lewis Potter turns him inside-outside USA, doesn't he? Sticks it up to the back post. Good header by Malik Wilkes, but look, has taken Sarkic, the keeper, out of the game. 2-0. And if we've got any Birmingham fans in, I bet they're going to be very annoyed about losing this one. But fair dues to Hull. Look at those numbers. I know the second half was 10 Vs. 11, 3 big chances to 1, 10 corners to 2. Look, 5 shots apiece on target. But again, game state tells us dodgy opener. Hogan misses 1-on-1. Silly red card. You know, not a very fun afternoon for Lee Bowyer and the Birmingham fans. Back-to-back defeats for them, just when they got going. Hull, you'd be very pleased if you're a Hull fan, out of the bottom 3. And we always say snail racing down at the bottom there. Teams do not score points fast in the bottom 3. And this season in the Championship, in the bottom 6, we've said only Cardiff there in the bottom 6 are hitting a point per game, which we think is the normal 10-year average for survival, 45 to survive. Hull, because of that big shellacking that Peterborough took at Sheffield United and their dreadful away form, are out of the bottom 3 on goal difference. Let's have a look at your comments on this one. There we go. Right, let's have a look. Dieter, I work with VAR referees. I'll come on and explain why you're wrong. I'll explain why your grammar is badly and you've missed an apostrophe there. But no, you don't invite yourself on the channel. Feel free, Dieter, to send me an email if you want to tell me why I'm wrong. But no, you can't invite yourself on the channel. And it's apostrophe RE for your, whilst we're talking about people being wrong. Lenny, huge slice of luck with the first goal, well admitted. However, Blues offered little and we rarely looked under threat. Brilliant performance. We criticised McCann, but the players are giving him everything. There you go. Bet you could reach that high E flat if you warmed up fast. Nah, never an E flat for me, Sax Bend. Top B, but it doesn't sound nice. Do you know what I mean? I can really push that, but nah. Baritone, me. Talking of officials, again, feel for Brum for that first goal. Well, there you go. The deer walked in to the tiger's cave. There you go, indeed. Thumbs up for Ben. There we go. Watched it 10 times and still can't be sure if the ball was out for the first whole goal. Stop it, Colm. Stop it. There you go. Right, last one, guys. And hopefully we don't have to talk about referees in this one because it does my head in. And it is Preston 1, Cardiff 2. And on the excellent Championship 365 show, our friend Ben HD pointed out that this was going to happen. And he, sadly, for North End fans, was right. And Preston come in a cropper at home. And Steve Morrison, in his first game in full charge, having been given the job permanently, gets the win. Woof. Preston 1, Cardiff 2. What does a Steve Morrison side look like? It looks like that. Smithies in goal. McGuinness, Flint, Nelson, Giles, NG, Volkspack, Isaac Davies, front right, Chanka Zimba, and Ruben Colwell. What about that for a front 3? Certainly going with the youngsters there. He worked with the 23s, though, didn't he, Steve Morrison? Iverson in goal for Preston. Vandenberg, Bauer, Hughes, Cunningham, Barkhazen, McCann, Ledson, Brown, Maguire, and Reese. It's Maguire who's going to get the opening goal in this one after only 2 minutes as well. All the goals, very set play heavy game. This one, that's Malik Wilkes scoring for Hull. Sorry. Cross goes into the back post. There's no assist being credited there. Does it get headed across to him or just bounce across to him? Anyway, Maguire stretches it out, and it's a horrible one for those Cardiff fans behind the goal. One of those where you just think, clear it, and all a player has to do is just waft out a leg and it kind of drips into the goal. Nasty. And here comes the comeback in the second half. Zimba, the youngster, comes out, and James Collins, the former Luton striker, comes in. But it's another youngster, Mark McGuinness. And we're going to have to tell off poor Sepp Vandenberg here because he's goal side. And then all of a sudden, he's not goal side. He loses McGuinness. You can say good run. You can say bad defending. It's up to you. McGuinness in and set plays. Looks a bit like Mick McCarthy's Cardiff rather than Steve Morrison's Cardiff. But believe me, it is Steve Morrison's Cardiff. Volks with the cross. McGuinness heads home. And another set play, I believe, at the end here. Ryan Giles, he's got loads of assists this season, hasn't he? swings that one in, and James Collins nods home the substitute and says to Steve Morrison, I'm still here. You don't have to play all the youngsters. Nods in the winning goal. Well done to Morrison, who gets the win. It's a fairly tight one. 14 shots to 12, 5-3 on target, 8-6 on the corners, 3 big chances to 2. I say not much in it. We'll see what the chat says, especially if there was anyone at the game. Preston, disappointing one. Back-to-back defeats, and it's still snarled up there. Look, 29, 28, 27, 26, 26, 24, 24, 23, 23, 22, 21, 20, 20. And then you get a 2-point gap there, and Preston are in that bunch. Cardiff would like to be in that bunch. They're still only on a point per game. However, back-to-back wins for the Bluebirds over Huddersfield and over Preston. And Steve Morrison, a good start. New manager bounce, anybody? Right, let's have a look in the chat. Where are we going? You don't understand VAR. What don't I understand about it, Dieter? Tell me, oh wise one. I'm a baritone, but tenors get all the best songs, so I kitchen sink it. There you go. Deep breath, lots of water. Where are we looking here? There we go. Away fan. Long journey, isn't it? Absolutely Fabregas. Collins came on to replace Zimba. Changed the game. Interesting. Zimba was good, but this was way too nervous. Interesting. Ruben Colwell was a different class, as was James Collins. There we go. I thought Cardiff always lose at Preston. No, there we go. New manager bounce. There it is. Well done for Collins. First goal in a Cardiff shirt. Happy for him, kind of. Good to see Colo scoring for Cardiff. There you go. Right. We are on to team of the round and goal of the round. Let's have a look. Okay, get your votes in for team of the round. Please leave your bias at the door. If another team had a better performance than you, please vote for them, not just your team because you support them. And then we'll get a good idea who the team of the round actually are rather than just how many subscribers I've got to support which team. So get your votes in for team of the round. You could go for Fulham, who are just a goal machine and go top of the league. You could go for Derby, fair dues. Derby, bottom of the league. Deducted 21 points over the course of the season, and they beat former league leaders Bournemouth. Impressive. You could go for Huddersfield, beat a parachute side in West Brom. You could go for Stoke, but there wasn't much in that game, wasn't there? You could go for QPR, but again, Luton missed their chances in that game, didn't they? What else have we got? You could go for Hull, back-to-back wins, but they did get a little bit lucky with their first goal. You could go for Cardiff, good away win at Preston. Look, I'm between Fulham, Derby and Cardiff, but I'll be honest, I'm quite heavily on Derby for this one. Let's see what the chat say. Derby, 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 Derby. Good. Derby, 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 and 1 for Cardiff at the end. So congratulations, Derby, who I think are rightly after the week they've had and the fact they beat who were the league leaders coming into this week. I think that's the right call, you lot, even though all opinions are allowed. Lovely stuff. Goal of the round. Get involved. Goal of the round. Once again, please, please, please only vote for a player who plays for your team if you've considered other goals by other players. It's very transparent when you vote for players who only play for your team. But free speech, you can do what you like. Just be aware that people can see through it if there is a bit of a bias towards your own team. Anyway, let me give you some suggestions. I like very much Wilson's goal for Fulham. I like very much Lawrence's goal for Derby and Solanke's goal for Bournemouth. I like Tyrese Campbell for Stoke. A few of you liked who lobbed Sluga? Willock. Not for me, really, but vote for who you like. Brereton Diaz slapped it in the top corner, didn't he? Pirro for Swansea, great goal. Zinkernagel for Forest, been a good week, hasn't it? Hull, no, not really. Preston, no, not really. So I would say my top picks are Wilson, Solanke, Lawrence, Zinkernagel and Pirro. Good week. Good week. Any of them will do it for me. Again, please leave your bias at the door and don't just vote for a player who plays for the team you support or is on loan from the team you support indeed. What are we saying? Pirro, Willock, Pirro, Willock, Willow, Willock, Pirro, Willock. Why are you lot all going for Willock? It was terrible goalkeeping. Anyway, your opinions are valid. You can go for Willock. Carvalho, yeah, fair. Zinkernagel, Lawrence, Wilson, Pirro, Solanke. Honestly, I think it's between Pirro and Willock. I will disagree, but I will always go with the chat. So we'll share it then. Pirro and Willock will give a joint goal of the round. Worth, I haven't had any lunch yet, and I've got a head rush now after sitting under the lights, so I need to go and have a lay down. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Again, apologies. It's at 3 p.m. I've got to do Blue Monday tonight. And then 3-game week. We're in now, aren't we? There'll be no time on Monday whatsoever. So thank you for joining me today. We will be back. We've dearly departed. Do you know, we might be able to get that out tonight. We'll see how the rest of the day goes and how Leeds get on against Tottenham, and then we'll finish that one off. I'll be on Blue Monday. We've gone through 500 episodes of the wonderful Ipswich Town podcast, Blue Monday. So go and subscribe to that if you want to see me wallowing in the perpetual disappointment of being an Ipswich Town fan. And we'll be back with a preview show. Need your help with the preview show tomorrow. And predicting Worth. There's some shout outs in here. Annie, legend. Mr. E, legend. QPR, legend. All that high singing gone to it. Yes, it has, Cam. Thank you. Will, legend. Sorry, I didn't call Cam a legend. You're all legends. You get the idea, don't you? Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll put the rest of the shout-outs, if they come, in the advert. And before I pass out, seriously, I'll say over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.